What's up, Age of Empires 4 fans? It's FitzBro, and I've got the news we've all been waiting for. Your first chance to play the Malians and Ottomans DLC for Age of Empires 4 is going to start next Tuesday, September the 13th, with the public update preview. Now, I'm going to go into details about this announcement from the team itself, but make sure you also stick around to the end of this video. I've got an awesome casted game of the Viper playing out on ladder. You guys know him. He's one of the best Age of Empires 2 players, qualified for Red Bull Wolo, also qualified for Age of Empires 4 Red Bull Wolo, and he's been practicing. So after this update, make sure you stick around for the main event. Anyways, let's get into this. So we know next Tuesday, you're going to get your first chance to play these new civilizations. Now, if you're wondering, what is the public update preview? This is also known as the PUP. You're going to hear this a lot everywhere and wondering, what is the PUP? This is something you can download on Steam as a beta branch, essentially, of the upcoming patch so that you can play test it. Now, Xbox Game Pass or Microsoft Store users, you're not going to be able to use this, so make sure you have it on Steam if you're planning on trying out this PUP. Now, let's read through what other announcements they've given for us. So we're going to have access to this September 13th through the 27th. Owners of AoE4 on Steam will have their first opportunity to try their hands at the first two new civilizations, the Malians and the Ottomans. And that isn't all. Just wait. The PUP will also include additional content and updates coming soon to AoE4. We know that this main patch is planning on releasing at the end of October. This is free DLC that's coming to the game, which they could have easily sold this stuff. Super excited to hear about it. Let's keep on moving on. The PUP presents an opportunity for our incredible players to get hands-on experience, exciting changes ahead of the major updates. So they'll be looking for your feedback. So if you have not contributed before on the Age of Empires forums, this is a great time to do it. As you play test these, you notice maybe some bugs, maybe some balance inconsistencies. Go on there, give feedback to the devs. They use this as kind of their worksheet as they are working to improve this game every day. Okay, there's also going to be some new content and bug fixes. Let's take a look at this roadmap here. So here is the Age of Empires 4 roadmap. Whoop, if I scroll just right. Okay, so Season 2, this is what we are doing right now, where we've got the pit, color picker, etc., etc. Here's Season 3, what to expect. So this will be coming at the end of October. It'll be Ranked Season 3, seasonal events, multiplayer ranked games. So these are all things you're going to expect to see in the PUP. You're going to get to play multiplayer ranked games for the very first times with a friend. I'll be interested to see if this is broken out from 2v2, 3v3. Will this include random queue? Will that be a separate rankings? Those are questions I'm going to be wondering as this rank system comes out. Taunts and Sheets. What are Taunts and Sheets? If you played any of the other Age of Empires games, you know that typing numbers in typically says like yes, no, ha ha ha, are you ready, etc. You might have even seen players in game typing numbers to you, wonder why are they doing this? That's because in the previous titles there were these taunts that you could do. Now I'll be curious to see if it follows the format of AoE2 or AoE3 numbering system. Will they use those same numbers, or will they just do a completely new one altogether? But I expect they're going to be I would assume some of the ones we've known and loved, and maybe some newer ones. Now, cheats, in the last few weeks, we've heard a lot about cheating, but these will be official cheats that you can use in game. That could be fun to try, especially when you're maybe doing some single player stuff and want to mess around. It looks like they'll be adding that to the game. Balance changes, so a slew of balance changes I'm sure we will see. I'm going to expect there's probably going to be PUP patch notes that I'll be covering next week, so if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that alert bell so that you get that. I always go through all the patches, break it down for you in case you don't know how all those civilizations, all these changes might impact your daily life with Age of Empires 4. And then bug fixes. We always like that. So let's see what else they have to say. Introducing the Malians and the Ottomans and more. So let's see. The Malians focus on strong economic play. So they're just telling you more about what we've kind of known about these civilizations from the previews that were at Gamescom. Go back and check out my previous videos if you didn't see that. So the Malians going to have economic play and strategic hit and run tactics, supposedly. The Ottomans going to have that big boom, right? They're going to have that great bombards. I'm excited about that. Heavily depending on military expertise, getting the upper hand in battle with production bonuses and large gunpowder siege weapons. So we kind of know Ottomans going to be a military powerhouse, and I, for one, I think I might be the most excited about trying out the Ottomans. I'm excited about all of it, but this is a civilization I'm really looking forward to digging into, and you can expect the second this drops next week and I get my hands on it, I'm going to be putting together civilization overviews for these. I'll be doing guides, some beginning build orders that I find, and I'll especially be watching some of the pros and what they're doing and sharing that with you here on the channel. Okay, 8 new maps, something we can expect. So I'm excited. We've been playing the same maps for a long time. We've seen a lot of custom maps. I wonder if any of these will be reflects maybe some of what we've seen on the road to Red Bull Wolo. Or will they be influenced by that? I'm sure there'll be official maps. I'm not sure if they're actually going to, straight up rip one of the community maps, but you never know. A sneak peek of Taunts and Sheets, team ranked functionality, updates to naval balance. So right now, water has been like a big issue for a while, and they haven't really made changes because they said this larger naval balance was coming. So my first expectation that this is going to be similar to Age of Empires 2, where it's kind of like you've got the rock, paper, scissors balance out on the water. So you're going to have different types of boats that counter each other, versus right now there's a few that kind of awkwardly, like some civilizations have stronger ones, and it doesn't really work out so well. So that'll be nice to just get to see that naval balance. So, there'll be so much to unpack here in this new pup. So expect my YouTube to be blowing up with new overviews and strategy guides and all kinds of stuff. Getting ready for the pup. Okay, you'll get release notes for that pup, as we mentioned. They want your feedback, preview build of the upcoming update. Yes, now they always give you the disclaimer. Some of these features aren't final yet, so those are things to realize, that you might see things that aren't complete. This is a beta that you're going to be seeing essentially of these new civilizations. But test them out, give that feedback, but don't go to Reddit complain about it right away. You give them time to make some changes. Among some of the finalized options, it looks like they aren't complete with the Malian Ottoman voice lines yet. So apparently they have the same voice lines from the English, but they're planning on at launch swapping this out. So it's a placeholder. So I guess they're finalizing their work with that. So don't be alarmed when you hear weird voice lines. Of course, this will kind of hurt me with the immersion of first digging into these civilizations. This kind of stinks, but I get it if they're finishing up, and at least they gave us a heads up for that. Okay, guys, so this is everything you can expect to see in the pup next week. This is September the 13th. This is going to be coming out live. And, of course, I'll be streaming it live on twitch.tv/FitzBro, so make sure you join me as we explore this together. I'll be putting guides on the channel, so you make sure you're subscribed. And now I'm going to pass you on over to a casted game I did out on the ladder featuring the one and only Viper. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys later. Welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4 live from the ladder, and we have a special sighting, a certain GL. The Viper. That's right, the greatest of all time from Age of Empires 2. He's already a qualified AoE4 Red Bull Wolo player because he won that Genesis tournament way back when, last fall. But he is back on ladder, and he's practicing, already qualified for both games, and he's going to get his reps in, and he's practicing against a mysterious barcode, LLLLL. We don't know who it is. There's speculations. We think it could be Beastie Cutie. We think it could be Ozzy Drongo. We have no idea who it is, but I looked at his match history, and he's taken some wins off of players such as Wham, another qualified Red Bull Wolo. So whoever he is certainly very good at the game, so I'm sure we have a match that should be plenty of entertainment for you. We have Mr. Viper playing in yellow as always. This is his trademark color of choice. He's playing as the Tang Dynasty, my favorite civilization, the best civilization. If you're looking for a civilization to play, go check out my hashtag Abbasid guide on YouTube. I don't even know if there's actually a hashtag for it, but you should go watch it and you learn all you need to know to play the wonderful Abbasid Dynasty. One of the best civilizations currently, other than me joking, currently in the meta. They are very, very popular. And on the other side, we've got Mr. Mysterious Barcode playing as the Chinese. He's got his mill there, his Imperial Official, just now putting down a mining camp. And we are here on Altai. 2 passes here in Altai, one there, one there. There's even a pass down here. Look at that. Didn't used to be this way. It used to spawn much differently, but that is the case. Also more wood on Altai than old Altai used to be. And we'll see what Viper has in store for us. What has he been practicing? I think he's been doing maybe some mysterious games, off ladder, on ladder, who knows. He streams on Facebook, so I don't watch that. And it's kind of the classic story of You know, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to see it, does it still fall? I don't know if Viper's playing ladder off Twitch, if it actually exists. But we're here to capture it. You can't sneak one by me. I got my game lobby ready to go. I was about to queue up when I saw Viper playing. We're not going to miss this. Okay, so he is now going for those berries. Just taking 2 villagers out to the berries. Instead of, I usually take all 5 there. Very interesting choice here. I wonder if these 3 will just go straight to stone or wood. I kind of like it. I don't know if he dropped off an extra sheep. How many did he open with? Okay, he has 1 scout opening. Pretty typical for the Tang Dynasty. Okay. Is he going to go out to the berries now? He is. Interesting. I usually take all 5 and go to the mill, but this might be more efficient. Kind of an interesting way he's done this. So, already learning things from the master. Of course, I wouldn't discount Viper just because he hasn't been playing Age of Empires 4 for a few months. He is a legend when it comes to RTS games, and I imagine in a very small period of time, you're going to see him back in there kicking ass, and it'll be very exciting to see him on that Red Bull Wallow stage. How does he hang with all these players who have been grinding and playing in these big tournaments every weekend for months and months and months? Of course, Viper always playing AoE2. Maybe those skills will transfer right over. And man, wouldn't it be something if Viper somehow won the AoE2 and AoE4 Red Bull Wallow events? That would be just... I can't imagine coming close to qualifying in one of these games, let alone being good enough to qualify in both. Absolutely crazy, and that is why he is such a legendary player. So loved by everyone in the community. Also a very cool guy, very level-headed. The few times I've, got to watch him, I used to watch him on Twitch. He streams on Facebook now, but even some of his YouTube uploads or stuff you see, like he's very down to earth, very level-headed. He doesn't get very, I lose a few games in a row and like, man, I'm cussing at the balance in the game. I'm all worked up. He keeps his wits about him, and that's why he's such a pro too. Okay, so going up the Imperial Academy over here for Mr. Barcode. And he's also putting up a village. Again, that's a unique building for the Chinese. Holds 40 population. You didn't used to be able to build it this early on, but they changed that around just a little bit. Take a look at these dynasties. You can see everything at the Tang Dynasty. Tang Dynasty! Remember it used to say in the middle of the screen, Tang Dynasty, super big. You couldn't avoid it. It's now hidden down here, but they get a village right at the beginning. Okay, and I expect to see a Barbican. There it goes. Looks like that Barbican the Sun. Defensive landmark. Going to be going down on that stone on the front line. So, Viper's Abbasid. He did open with some horsemen, and then has moved towards the stone. His enemy has scouted this. Mr. Barcode sees he's taking stone. He sees the stable, knows there's probably something coming his way. Viper on the other side, going in to go for a raid. I played against Viper a few times on ladder back when like the beta was out. They're in the early access. I got very close to beating him with my Mongols back when I was like memeing with like super speedy Gurs rolling all over the place. But I wasn't able to get the job done. So I do not have a victory against the legendary Viper, but I hope to someday. Maybe I'll have to get back in queue here when he's done with this game. Okay, so we've got, I see chat saying my brother is Fitzy here, but he looks very much like the Viper at a glance. He came in one of my streams, and a bunch of people thought that perhaps the Viper was here in the FitzBro streaming office, but I don't know. Maybe we'll just have to keep that going. Perhaps Viper is my brother, perhaps he's not. We'll have to see when it comes to Christmas time who I'm hanging out with. Okay, and Viper doing a little bit of raiding, but getting shot at by the Barbican. He's actually did some damage to that house with the spearman. He forced a spearman at reaction at the very least from China, but not going to get a whole lot of value out of this. I don't know about... He has delayed his second town center a bit by opening with these horsemen, but perhaps has also put a little bit of pressure on China, forcing him to make some spearmen. But the question will be, can he get enough value out of these horsemen to justify, in fact, delaying that second town center just a little bit? So he's just trying to do some boxing here, just trying to let Barcode know that he is here, watching what's going on. What's that on the south side? Okay, just another horseman. So he's also denying intel from his opponent by trying to keep these scouts away from his base. So, but I don't know. These spearmen are pretty cheap. I don't think this is a big thing for China. Not going to slow him down a whole lot, but it is a thing going on. You don't have to. Some people just go, you know, they just blindly go straight for the second town center. He's also not only gone for a stable, he's gone for an archery range. And I don't know. I don't love feudal pushes against China because they get Zugnu. Good luck. Zugnu destroy everything that Abbasid has in the Second Age. Anything everyone has in the Second Age, to be honest. But maybe Viper has a special trick. Of course, the Abbasid, they can build rams without siege engineering needing to be researched. But again, Zugnu are going to be a factor here very soon. We see the archery range going down. This Imperial official will probably be moved over to supervise that archery range. And when he does that, it will produce 150% faster. Let's see if he does it. One moving over right now. You see, it typically takes 15 seconds. If that one goes to... I'm waiting to see. Is he going to supervise it? Some skirmish up to the north. He might not. He might not. He's going to need some wood, of course. But if he starts pumping those Zugnu out, he's got 2 archer ranges. He might just keep his Imperial officials doing his thing. I think that might be what he's going for. So, of course, losing that village would hurt. This holds 40 population, so it is not good to lose one of these. But Barcode keeping it alive. He's got a villager up there. Archer is just trying to box him out. A little back and forth, so very aggressive. Interesting to see Viper coming out of the gate, throwing punches. He does have his second town center going down right now. His opponent sitting on a single TC. He is gathering the stone. He does have the stone he needs for his next TC, but is spinning wood on defenses right now. So this will allow him opportunity to outboom China. Of course, Abbasid with fresh foodstuffs, it makes their villagers cost half as much. Some players say this is an OP mechanic. The typical villager you see here for China costs 50 food. For the Viper, for Abbasid, it's costing him 25 food. And what is Viper doing behind this? He's forced pressure, kind of denied his second town center a little bit or slowed him down. And now he's aging up behind this. I love this mood. This mood. I like the mood too. We got Viper on ladder. I haven't seen this in months. He's aging up with the culture wing, the only option you really need when going to the third age with the Abbasid. And he's basically feigned aggression, forced a little bit of reaction. I mean, his opponent built 2 archery ranges, and now he's aging up. He's slowed him down from booming. Look at the villager count. 35 for Viper, 34 for Barcode, but that's he just finished this town center. And what's going on behind this? Drop it down to barracks, drop it down to archery range. That'll be a second archery range. And I think Viper's going to be set up for success here in the third age. And China, he really needs to get his second town center down, or he's going to be in some trouble. He collected all of that stone and has not spent it. So he's had that invested in his Zugnu, his spearmen, of course. So Viper positioning himself back, just kind of waiting. He knows now that scout's coming up. Got a little bit of intel you can see there. I think he's poked in here. I think he saw. Don't trust the line of sight when we're in these wrecks. So sometimes it doesn't tell you what is actually scouted. Oh, could he perhaps pick up that scout? That would be nice for him to deny a little bit of intel. Doesn't get it. Is he going to turn around? The horsemen are in fact faster than the scout, which I never understood. I thought the scouts would be faster than the horsemen, being the most lightweight unit in the game, but no, horsemen, they are faster than the scouts. The scouts, he's been drinking too much beer down at the pub. Can't see him. He's hiding there. Ooh. Horsemen though, charging in, getting speared up there. Not ideal, but Viper hits the next age, and honestly, Barcode might not be aware of this, although when Abbasid backed off pressure, that would have probably been a big sign to him that he was, in fact, aging. We do see on the other side of the field, Barcode is nowhere close to aging up. He does have his second town center now, so he did get that built. Looks like, is he going to go for third town center? No 3 TC in sight. So he's on 2 TC right now. Just a few villagers behind, but not a whole lot. But remember, he's paying full price for villagers. And then we've got down here, armored units getting ready to come out. We could have some men at arms from the barracks. We could have some lancers there from the stable. And then, of course, Abbasid, they don't need to research anything to start producing mangonel, which would be devastating to this army composition. Barcode knows that. He's falling back, and he is walling up. But he's only going to be building himself a tomb, as the Abbasid will be pushing forward very soon. Viper is set up. I wouldn't be surprised if Viper sneaks in a third TC here eventually. I remember from when I used to watch Viper games, he loves just casually, just when you think all his actions going on, boop, put down a town center, just paints adds those little trees there on the canvas. He likes to add an additional town center just at the midpoint of the game. Barcode's going to try to wall his opponent in, trying to buy himself a little bit of time as he needs to get up to the next age himself. He just has required acquired the required resources to do that. Sorry, that was a mouthful. Astronomical clock tower going down. This produces siege units right away, so he could build that infamous nest of bees, one of the best mangonels in the game, right? Or mangonel type unit, at least. Area effect, and now we've got Viper's army moving out. Man-at-arms, archers. Oh my, he's going to be ready. No lancers, though. His staple has remained dormant, though he is going to pick up the relics. That's an advantage. When you beat your opponent to the third age, you can start producing your religious unit, whether it is a monk or a prelate or a scholar or whatever, grabbing those relics. Each one you gain, that's going to be 100 gold of passive income per minute. So that's what he's trying to do right now. There's 5 relics out on this map perhaps he could gain, although this one would be very hard to get. Main arms moving in. Now the Zugnu, they don't do terrible against man arms. Just a few of these. Like here sitting underneath the Chinese buildings, they of course pack a bigger punch with their gunpowder than typical buildings, but he's going to back off, and we see that happening right now. He's backing up. Now look at this. I love that this scout is just seeing everything that's coming across the board. For him, this is all until he is. He knows exactly what his opponent's making. Archers and man-at-arms. Now, if you were counting archers and man-at-arms, I would think crossbows are going to be a great option as far as countering those units. He also could perhaps go lancers. Some lancers, or knights rather, for the Chinese. Wouldn't be terrible. Actually, knights would be good against all of this. So that's what I would recommend personally, but looks like he's going to be going for the Palace Guard. And the Palace Guard, a very good unit for the Chinese, a unique unit, a unique man-at-arms, rather, for China. They can be very, very speedy, especially later on in the game, so a good option. Maybe some Palace Guards and some crossbows could be his composition of choice. He is producing some crossbows now and some man-at-arms, so I think it's going to be Palace Guards. Palace Guards, crossbows, and maybe some clock tower and nest of bees. We'll see. Villagers caught up in the little raid here. Viper has moved on in right now. Okay, what can Viper do? Trying to engage these Palace Guards head on, but there's crossbows in the mix here, and this is not going to be a good trade for Viper. He's going to be losing a few of his man-at-arms. I mean, he killed a few Palace Guards. It wasn't like a bad trade, but I think he made the right decision getting out of there when he did. He could perhaps move back, perhaps go for some siege units would help. He is taking map control. He's got to keep right on the sacred site mid. Remember, if you capture the sacred site, that's going to be 100 gold per minute in a victory condition if you hold all of them for 10 minutes. But let's see how many relics has he gained. 1, 2. He has 3 relics already coming home. 4th relic in base. So he has 4 relics acquired. He will have to build actually a second mosque for that. You can only put 3 inside a single mosque. So that'll be 400 gold per minute. And in the late game, that gold really adds that up, especially if your opponent is trapped in their base. Now, Barcode will want to secure this. That's 8k gold up to the north. There's no gold really up mid, and he's about to run out of the gold he has in his base. About 1,000 left there. Viper having just dropped a keep mid. There's a gold vein here. Maybe another keep could be good to help kind of box his opponent in. China, though, also a civilization that can do very well. Sitting back, waiting, and then boom, bursting out with their clock tower siege units, which are have more HP than the typical. Yep, plus 50% health. Okay, Viper's fallen back. I think Viper's going to go maybe to the next stage. He has a lot of food right now. Unless he's going to sell some of that for some gold, but I think that's what he's done. He's put a little pressure. He's been booming. Let's look at this. 74 villagers for Barcode, 73 for Viper. So Barcode has caught up and surpassed him, in fact. I thought maybe Viper would drop an additional town center, but it looks like it's just been keeps for him. He has the 800 stone to drop another keep. Let's see if he does it. Not that I'm seeing so far. A lot of stables and horsemen. Horsemen, light units. You got the knights, the horsemen. Of course, the Abs also have access to the camel rider, which is a unique unit that counters other cav, but very situational to use. The scout there on the far right side. But the horsemen, they are the fastest unit in the game. I'm trying to think if there's something that somehow is faster. Yeah, the horsemen are faster. They're lighter. They're very good for raiding. They're also very good against archers and crossbows. So if his opponent invests in a lot of crossbows, horsemen will be good for that, or he can just run around, do a lot of raiding there with his army. So, but just a mixture of those. I'm not sure if he'll do a ton of horsemen. We'll see. And right now we see Viper trying to break into the north side, but Barcode has a nest of bees, dishing out some damage, and he gets a stone wall just in time. Stone walls in Age of Empires 4 cannot be attacked by infantry. While they're in construction, they can be attacked by infantry, but once they're built like they are now, he has to bring siege units to tear these down. People have said stone walls are too strong because of this, and it kind of stalls out the game. And that's kind of up to you. If you're watching this over on YouTube, let me know what you think about stone walls. Are they too OP? What do you think? The tournaments have banned them until the 3rd age. You can't even build them in this H2, which can do on ladder, of course. Well, debatable. If you're playing by the rules of the professionals play, like, they don't build them on the ladder. Okay, so we've got the Viper moving up. Remember these horsemen, they are very speedy. China, though, one of the civ bonuses is they build faster than every other civilization. So this keep is going up. There's no way these horsemen are going to stop it. He might do a little bit of damage, actually almost no damage there, really. That keep is complete. And now these horsemen, they have 5 pierce armor, rather that ranged armor, but they will take a lot of damage from this keep. Especially Chinese defensive emplacements, you do not want to be just sitting underneath here. You will take on a lot of damage. And he continues to sit there, losing a few of his horsemen and archers. He may want to... Yeah, I don't know about that. But he took out a tower. He didn't really need to do that. The trebuchet got it. Okay, but is Viper aging up? I thought he was going to age up a little bit ago. He's close to the resources he has now, though. Oh, he has not... Look at this. He built a second mosque, but has not put him inside there yet. He's put that relic in there to start getting that benefit. Okay, he's building towers. Why is he building towers on the front line? Well, these are primarily for line of sight. With this line of sight, he can see what's going on, get his siege units to attack. But we do see China has a counter trebuchet. A counterweight trebuchet, shall we call it, and has taken out that tower. Another option which you can do, guys, is click your trebuchet and do this attack ground. Sometimes your units can do this weird stuff if they don't have line of sight where they roll to the front line. If you do this attack ground, they'll use their maximum range and start firing. So sometimes if you know it keeps there in the fog of war, it can be a smart move to do. Let's look at the line of sight of Barcode here on the other side. He sees that siege coming his way. That tower just barely got completed. He is putting his spring golden emplacement on that, but holding that, he's got a good mass of crossbows there and an SCBs in the back line, firing off a few volleys. Trebuchets starting to work on each other's keeps. It looks like that Chinese keep, he's down at -1 stone. He owes the bank back 1 stone, in fact, and that keep is going to be history. Now, keeps did not used to cost stone to repair, but that has long been changed and really makes a difference when you're holding on to those keeps. Unless you're HRE and have emergency repairs. Okay, we got Barcode trying to turtle up, but Viper bringing the pain so far. Multiple trebuchets set up. 1, 2, 3 trebuchets. Still not advancing to the 4th age. He's sticking this out in age 3. Just when we thought he might age up, he's spent his resources. Has a lot of gold in the bank, but is mostly investing in his kind of his standing army, his trebuchets. Remember, a lot of these resources are on the outskirts of this mass. We got a lot of gold there. We got an 8k gold vein there. There's this gold vein there. He's got 4k gold, but they'll have to eventually go for those resources on the edge. And if he really corners his opponent here and cause problems. Actually, we see, look at all these 20 villagers migrating, maybe out to the stone, it looks like, but I don't know. Viper seems to be in a very good position right now. Barbican in the sun almost down. That's one of the landmarks. Landmarks goes down. Okay, Viper has eliminated that landmark. Now, China, a little different than every other civilization. They can build 2 landmarks per age. So one of the victory conditions is you take out all the landmarks, you win. Well, with the opposite, they have also, they're unique. They have 2 landmarks, but with China, they got 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 landmarks right now. Well, one of those going down. So he's down to 3 landmarks, but it's better than Abba's. Abba's got 2 landmarks, but he's got 1 with a lot of HP, of course. Viper continuing to push forward as we talk about landmarks here. We got the crossbows moving back. He's got man-at-arms, horsemen, archers, springolds, and trebuchets. A nice mixed army. You're gonna be really good at AoE4. Sometimes, you know, maybe the lower levels, you just want to try to manage 2 units. Maybe you're just going for 2 units that complement well. But at the top of the ladder, you're really going to need multi-unit compositions. You see him here having a mixture of everything. Man-at-arms, archers, crossbows, horsemen, springolds to defend against siege, counterweight trebuchets to get down siege. And he's just going to slowly push forward with this. Likely maybe even drop another keep on the front line. He's going to need some more stone in order to do that. There's some stone here he could get. There's also some stone there he could get, but he's not going for that. He did finally secure his 4th relic inside there, and he's going to start capturing these sacred sites. Now, 400 gold per minute there, 500, 600 gold per minute. If he gets this, that'll be 700 gold per minute. Let's look at the current income per minute so you can check it out. You can see Abbasid in a great position. Look at the villager count, 86 for Viper, 91 for China. So despite having less villagers, he has more income per minute right now. But China's doing a lot of moving around, shuffling of his economy, and he's in a bit of trouble. He loses this landmark. There's only 2 left, and he'll be eliminated from this game. And honestly, I am not sure if Barcode, famous pro player, if he's going to be able to hold, as Viper is looking to strike like a snake at those landmarks. Is he going to do it? Okay, he's just chilling back. He's refueling the trebuchets, using that Abbasid special ability and building the Springolds on the front line. Look at that. They're not even doing the dance. Sometimes they do the dance around it. They're just chilling. These are cool, collected Springold builders. Viper a boar there in the mix. By the way, Abbasid villagers, they can't gather the boar, so the boar lives in harmony with the Abbasid dynasty. It doesn't care, and if you don't bother him, he won't bother you. Trebuchet's actually taking some shots at the units, but as you can see, they're doing virtually 0 damage. I'm not sure if they even hit anything there. And we do have Viper in the 4th age now, in the Imperial Age, and grabbing all the sacred sites. Now, the endgame UI unfortunately does not show us the sacred site timer, but in 10 minutes, Viper will win this game if he doesn't win it outright before then. So about the 33-minute mark, there'll be Viper's victory. But Viper looking to dish out the death blow. He needs these Springolds to hit the enemy nest of bees, or they'll set up his composition in jeopardy. But Barcode, very nice use of his Springolds. He actually wiped out Viper's Springold line. And with that, it's going to buy him a little bit of time. But on the other side, a Horseman, very, very, very effective at killing Siege these days. Flanks and takes out 1 nest of bees, but China kind of messing up this attack. They've kind of stuck attacking the infantry on the front line. So kind of gummed up the situation, but Viper's on the next stage. He's getting his techs right now. Seems to be still winning this fight. Going to eventually take that out. And there you go. Barcode. He hides his face from the ladder. We don't know who he really is. But would you as well if you're going against the Viper? There's no chance you're going to beat the qualified Red Bull Wolo player for AoE2 and Age of Empires 4, and I'm sure we're going to see more Viper action. So if you watch the server on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, and let me know if you're excited that Viper is back for AoE4. And Twitch, let's keep this party on a rolling.